It's on. Okay, so here's my setup for this project that I'm working on. I'm making a birthday gift for one of my best friends, and I am an avid tea and coffee drinker, and so is she. So this one's gonna be fun. It's a tea wreath, and I don't know if you've seen any other pictures of tea wreaths on the internet, but they're usually kind of flat and just fanned out. Well, ours is gonna be a lot fuller, and it'll have a little twist on it. We're gonna make some cool little centerpiece hanging in the middle as well to make it personalized with some quotes and some little doodads like this cute little teacup here. So I'll take you around the table. Of course, we have our wreath that we're starting with, just one of these regular stick things from the craft store. Most of the stuff I just pulled from our craft bins upstairs, so it's, you know, whatever we have. This, normally it's done with clothespins. I couldn't find our regular clothespins. These are little holiday Rudolph ones, but they'll be stuck in there so you won't see that it's Rudolph. That works perfectly. Hot glue gun, already unplugged in, ready to go. Glitter, of course. Mod Podge, of course. And paint. And over here we have our, see, this is a Good Earth little tag that hangs on the tea bags. Now, I actually started collecting these a little while ago because I loved all the quotes, and it was a really good thing that I did because they stopped making them, or they stopped making them the same way anyway, and I really love this way. So that's kind of what we're copying here. I just cut up a regular folder, a regular manila folder to mimic the shape. Just basically cut a rectangle, cut off the corners, and then we're going to write on it, and we're going to put pictures on it there. So that'll be hanging in the middle. I don't know how many we're going to need, but these are some of the quotes that I found. I just scribbled them onto the paper, and we'll choose which ones later. Tea bags. Our cabinets are full of tea bags, so I just picked all the prettiest ones. So we have some coconut mango, some sweet and spicy, whatever you like. Whatever whoever you're making it for likes. This is licorice. I hate that. I don't know if she likes it or not, but the bag is very pretty, so I'm including it. And we have, like I said, the teacup. And we have actually some brewed coffee. I just brewed some coffee. And that's how we're going to age our little tea bags, because I love aging things. And we're also going to age the photos that we're going to put on that. You can use instant coffee, regular coffee, whatever. Okay, and then this is just my pile of random stuff that we're going to see if we want to use. Anybody who knows me knows my motto is play it by ear. So I don't like to have everything exactly planned out. Just a second, puppy. I like to play it by ear and see how things go. So we have some raffia here, we have some twine, some gold cord, some lace, beautiful lace, one of these little cute treasure boxes, thought it would be cool to incorporate, some brown paper, and then some hot chocolate and coffee that I probably want to integrate somewhere because we love all hot beverages. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do here is start writing our quotes on our tea bags. Now, the smaller ones, I'm using like an inky kind of pen, and the smaller ones, you have to make sure that you write it big enough so that the ink doesn't spread once we get it dipped in the coffee. So let's see, my first one here is this Abraham Lincoln quote. That was pretty funny. And hopefully your handwriting is like a little bit nicer than mine, but whatever. We don't judge here, right? Okay, so now I have written on the ones that I want to write on beforehand, and then some of them I want to write on after I take them out, because it's just, you know, give it a little bit different effect. So basically, we just do this. Crunch it up. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it gives it more of an aged, textured feel. And that is another dog crying. They just want treats. So, dip it in the coffee, throw it on the thing, on your pan. So we just repeat this process, and then we're gonna stick it in the oven on, see now, these ones with the writing on it, that your ink is gonna start to, you know, spread a little bit, and that's okay as long as you wrote legibly enough that it will still be readable. So we're going to put it in the oven on about 200 for about 10 minutes or so, and after that I'm going to re-dip some of them just same process again, because it will just give it a bigger variety of colors on it, so it's not so even, because kind of in this first dip it usually comes out pretty even. So these are all the ones that I'm sure I'm going to use, and then I'm just going to dip some extra just in case, because you never know. Okay, and we all know every project, of course, needs its healthy dose of glitter. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just going to get some Mod Podge on these clothespins, Rudolph clothespins. And don't worry about the nose or the bottom of it, because that part will be in the wreath, so you won't be able to see that part. Hot glued in the wreath. So cover it in Mod Podge, cover it in glitter, and voila. Now I'm gonna do my whole pile here. I think I have about 15, 16 or so, and I don't know, I may need a little less, may need a little more. We're gonna wait until we fill them in and see how full the wreath looks. So I'm just gonna finish covering these and glittering up all of the clothespins, and then I just hot glued them right in there. Sorry I didn't get that on camera at all, but I literally just put some hot glue on the head and fit it in wherever it fit. So I put them all over, facing all different directions, so all the tea bags will be, you know, facing all different ways, so it'll look full and it'll look really cool. Then I touched up the glitter in some spots, just put some Mod Podge on it and touched it up, and then as soon as it has a chance to dry again, then we will fill it with the tea bags. And then I'm thinking that instead of adding any extra clothespins, what we'll do is we'll just then stick the tea bags right in. So that'll work perfectly. So make sure when you're picking out a wreath that you get one with a lot of big spaces like this one has, because it's much easier to put the clothespins in however you want when it has bigger spaces. So I took all of my my little quotes out of the oven, and see, this is an example of one that I wrote on after I took it out of the oven, and then this is an example of one that I wrote on before I put it in the oven. So you can see the big difference. I just really liked it both ways, so I want to incorporate both of them in it. And then we're just going to have these pictures that I printed up. I printed them up at home, but of course you can have them printed. And then I'm just ripping them like this. You just want to go back and forth, that way you don't get a perfectly straight line, so you know you have a nice jagged edge. And then it's the same exact process as the papers. So we're just going to dip it in the coffee and put it on the baking sheet, and then it'll go in the oven for, it's like a total of 20 minutes if you want it, if you redip it. So I redipped mine, is somewhere between 20 and 25 minutes. I redipped it at 10 minutes. So I'm just going to continue that process with these other pictures that I have. Okay, so now as you can see, I was just putting the tea bags in the clothespin. So all you do is just stick it in. Fits perfectly. Alright. So I put it in all the ones that I had in, and then I just started adding extra ones around, just sticking it in the actual wreath itself. And then I just want it to look nice and full and random and funky and fun. So after I put the centerpiece in, I might take some of these ones that are on the inside out. And see, they're super easy to remove and replace. And that is the fun of it, so that once you take one out, then you can refill it, restock it. So I'm just going to continue doing that until it's all full, and then we'll work on the centerpiece. Alright, so I have my pictures out of the oven, and I basically just laid everything out. This is kind of more or less how I'm going to hang it. I poked little holes in the quotes and stuck some twine and some gold cord through the smaller ones. And so this is kind of more or less how I want it. Obviously it's going to look different hung, but hopefully it'll, you know, condense a little bit so it all fits inside the wreath. So I'm just going to start hot gluing like these pictures. I'm just going to put a couple dabs of hot glue, that way it doesn't, you know, I don't want to press it and lay it flat, otherwise I would do it with, you know, like photo glue or Mod Podge or something, but I just want it to stick with that, you know. Okay, so now all we did is attach all of the pictures in the placement that I had them in, and so I literally just put a dab of hot glue on the piece of paper or the photos. That way it's not perfectly pressed on, you know, it doesn't have that pressed look, it has that still a little bit crumpled, cool, aged look. This, I put a little dab of hot glue on the hot chocolate and the coffee. That way it just, you know, no chance of it falling out, and stuck some of this stuff inside. So all I did was put a little dab of hot glue and then blow on it, let it almost dry, and then just touch it to the cup, and it sticks perfectly fine, and it's really easy to take off. So this I secured in here a little bit the same way, and the lace that I attached. Okay, so here's what I did so that it wouldn't swing up onto here and make the cup turn completely sideways. We have it hanging on a nice angle, but it's not completely sideways, right? So I just tied a knot out of the twine and secured that with hot glue to the side of the cup there, and put a knot in the twine, secured it on the other side, and then stuck the lace in between, sandwiched it in between the twine and the cup. That way it can't go anywhere. That's where it is, and that's where it's gonna stay. So everything's all secured and ready to go, ready to be placed. So now all we're gonna do is find our favorite side of the wreath, which is always the hardest part, and then we'll get it all hanging in the center. Alright, so we finished attaching everything, hot glued everything, secured everything, tied lots of knots, and there was a little change of plans from the original design of the center, and that's just because I wanted the pictures to be visible enough and all the little quotes to be visible enough, so we wanted to give them enough space. So what we ended up doing was taking these two larger pictures, and the larger quote there, and attaching it on the side, so it kind of looks cool. It's a cool little waterfall effect, and we put a little raffia bow there, and then just tied this ribbon that's coming through the cup. That's the one that we used as the hook, and then put a bow on. That's just some little gold ribbon and all that extra stuff that we had, and there we go. There's our finished product of our tea wreath with little personalized touches. Thanks for watching.